So the US House just passed a comprehensive gun control bill, which did multiple things, including a ban on so-called large capacity magazines. It increased the age to purchase specific rifles to the age of 21, and it also codified the ATF's rules on frames and receivers, and also their ban on bump stocks. So let's talk about this. But real quick before we jump to this video, if you think we don't need more gun control in our country, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe. Also want to give a shout out to one of the main sponsors of this video, which is Sonoran Desert Institute. SDI is an accredited online college that helps students learn the skills and techniques that they'll need to be successful in the firearms industry. So if you enjoy gun repair, ballistics, and learning about firearms, SDI might be a good option for you. To find out more about SDI, you can visit the website linked down below, and thank you again SDI for sponsoring this video. Also want to mention that if you're interested, you can now pick up channel merch. You can get this shirt. We have 2 different colors in this shirt and then 2 other designs. So like I said, if you're interested, you can pick one of these shirts up using the link down below. So like I said in the intro, in reaction to recent incidents in Buffalo and Uvalde, Texas, there have been renewed calls for more gun control within the US. Well, now a comprehensive gun control package has been introduced into the House, and it's a national level gun control package, and it just passed the US House. The bill we'll be talking about in this video is called the Protecting Our Kids Act, or HR 7910, and it was introduced by Nadler, Thompson, and Jackson Lee. This bill introduces multiple gun control measures, including a magazine ban, an age-based firearms purchase restriction, a safe storage requirement, a ghost gun / 3D printed firearm ban, and it would even codify the ATF's bump stock ban. The first section of this bill deals with the prohibition on selling semi-automatic rifles and shotguns to anyone under the age of 21. It states that FFL is prohibited to sell any firearm or ammunition to any individual who the licensee knows or has reasonable cause to believe has not attained 21 years of age. This includes any semi-automatic centerfire rifle or semi-automatic centerfire shotgun that has the capacity to accept an ammunition feeding device with the capacity to exceed 5 rounds. And again, this is a general prohibition on anyone under the age of 21 from purchasing these types of firearms. This section of the bill seeks to essentially directly challenge a recent ruling by the Ninth Circuit in the Jones v. Bonta case. In that case, the Ninth Circuit struck down the state of California's ban on 18 to 20-year-olds from being able to purchase semi-automatic centerfire rifles. The Ninth Circuit found that under the text, history, and tradition of the Second Amendment, 18 to 20-year-olds have the right to these types of firearms, to these types of arms, and our nation would not exist without these 18 to 20-year-olds being able to bear these arms. But of course, this bill seeks to prohibit 18 to 20-year-old civilians from having access to those arms, while also exempting the same use of those arms by those same 18 to 20-year-olds if they are serving in the military or they are law enforcement officers. This section of the bill has passed the House now with a vote of 228 in favor of it and 199 against it. In this vote, 10 Republicans voted in favor of increasing that age purchase restriction. Those 10 Republicans were Fitzpatrick from Pennsylvania, Gonzalez from Ohio, Jacobs from New York, Katko from New York, Kinzinger from Illinois, Malatakis from New York, Salazar from Florida, Smith from New Jersey, Turner from Ohio, and Upton from Michigan. But the age restriction was not the only thing that passed in the House. Also, a national ban on so-called large capacity magazines also passed. Under this section of the bill, a large capacity magazine will mean a magazine, belt, drum, feed strip, helical feeding device, or similar device, including any such device joined or coupled with another in any manner that has an overall capacity of, or that can be readily restored, changed, or converted to accept more than 10 rounds of ammunition. Under this section, it states that it shall be unlawful for a person to import, sell, manufacture, transfer, or possess any of these large capacity ammunition feeding devices. It then goes on to state that the prohibition shall not apply to the possession of any large capacity ammunition feeding device otherwise lawfully possessed on or before the date of enactment of that section of the bill. So this bill aims to create a national ban on magazines that hold more than 10 rounds, while also grandfathering in the already possessed magazines. This is similar to what states like the state of California have done in the past, where they grandfather in magazines and they're only banning the future sale of these magazines that hold more than 10 rounds. But like we've seen in states like California, New York, and other states, what ends up happening is they grandfather in these magazines, simply trying to win people over initially, and then later on they'll go back in and they'll say, well, we're also going to close this so-called loophole and ban even those grandfather magazines as well. So again, this is a playbook. We've seen it happen in California, we've seen it happen in other states, and now they're just trying to apply it at a national level. This section of the bill, which bans so-called large capacity magazines, passed a House vote with 220 people voting in favor of it and 207 voting against it. And it had 4 Republicans voting in favor of this magazine ban. Those 4 Republicans were Kinzinger from Illinois, Fitzpatrick from Pennsylvania, Upton from Michigan, and Jacobs from New York. Another important aspect of this bill that passed a House vote is the codification of the ATF's bump stock ban. In this section of the bill, there is an amendment to the federal law to include bump stocks into the GCA and impose restrictions on so-called machine guns. If you're not aware of what happened, the ATF has arbitrarily changed the definition of machine gun to include devices like bump stocks. Therefore, under the ATF's new rule on these machine guns and bump stocks, the possession of bump stocks is illegal because you're in illegal possession of what they claim are machine guns. Currently, there are multiple cases challenging the ATF's reinterpretation of the term machine gun, but this aspect of the bill aims to codify that new rule by the ATF through the Congress. This section of the bill passed with a vote of 233 people voting in favor of it and 194 voting against it. Republicans who voted in favor of this codification of the bump stock ban were Calvert, Fitzpatrick, Gonzalez, Jacobs, Joyce, Katko, Kinzinger, Malatakis, Salazar, Smith, Turner, Upton, and one of my local representatives who claims to be a Republican, David Valadeo. Another aspect of this bill that has passed the House vote is the section that includes a definition and the expansion of manufacturing firearms, and essentially is a ban on frames and receivers, 80%er, so-called ghost guns, and 3D printed firearms as well. In this section of the bill, it includes a new definition and defines the term ghost gun into federal law, and it defines it to mean a firearm including a frame or receiver that lacks a unique serial number engraved or cast on the frame of the receiver by a licensed manufacturer or importer. This section of the bill makes it unlawful for any person to manufacture, sell, offer to sell, transfer, purchase, or to receive a so-called ghost gun. Essentially, this bill aims to create a general ban on 80%ers within the US, along with a ban on 3D printed firearms as well. How they will regulate 3D printed firearms, I don't know how they're going to actually do that, but this bill indicates that they aim to make it unlawful to 3D print a frame or receiver, or to 3D print these items that you can build out to be a firearm. Again, in a way, this is a way that they are legislatively trying to codify the ATF's new rules on frames and receivers, similar to what they're trying to do with the ATF's rule on bump stocks in this bill. This ban on so-called ghost guns and 3D printed firearms passed with a vote of 226 individuals voting in favor of it and 194 voting against it. 8 Republicans voted in favor of this ghost gun ban, including Fitzpatrick, Gonzalez, Jacobs, Katko, Kinzinger, Malatakis, Smith, and Upton. So again, kind of those same Republicans are voting in favor of all these gun control bills. So these are some of the major aspects of this gun control bill that passed. Now, in my opinion, I do not think that this drastic bill will pass in the Senate. I don't think that they can get the 60 votes that they need to break the filibuster in the Senate. I think standalone bills like a red flag bill or a universal background check bill have a better chance of passing both the House and the Senate. Currently, talks about compromise on a national red flag law have been happening. However, there are rumors that support for that is pretty much faltering fairly quick, and it's faltering on both sides. So I would highly recommend that you guys contact your local representatives, send them emails, call them, let them know that you do not support this type of gun control bill. You don't support this specific bill, this Protecting Our Kids Act, but you also would not support any other gun control measures as well, including a red flag law. So if you guys have any questions, go ahead and comment down below and I'll try to answer the best of my ability. Also, if you like this video and like support the channel, one of the best ways to do that is to like, comment, and subscribe. All those things help to fuel the algorithm or fuel algorithms with them. It adds fuel to his jet and it signals to YouTube that you guys see value in these videos and in this type of 2A news. Again, I want to thank everybody who likes, comments, subscribes, who hits the notification bell, who shares these videos. You guys are directly impacting these videos, impacting this channel, and helping me to reach and educate more people than I could ever do on my own. So again, thank you so much for all your support. So as always, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And never forget, this nation was built by armed scholars, and this nation will be maintained by armed scholars.